Well, hey guitar learners, welcome back. This is the video you've been waiting for on how to play This Is Amazing Grace. So I know the song is a little bit older by Phil Wickham. I think he collaborated with Bethel on this one. And there are so many parts to this song. You can play some of them, you can play the lead lines, you can play some of the lines in the verses. You can play it however you wish, but this is a breakdown of how I played it in the playthrough that's also linked in the description. And so at the very beginning and in the interludes, in between choruses and verses, and then again at the end, there is the lead line, and that lead line gets played like this. So I put the tabs up there to help you with that. If you're kind of interested in which fingers go where, I tend to start with my ring finger on that 13th fret of the B string, and then kind of walk my way down from the middle finger to the index finger, just to get myself in a good place for some of those kind of hammer-on movements with the index and ring finger there. So that's how the song starts, right? Really big, lots going on there. And then in the first verse, there is some kind of rhythmic picking stuff going on. And I'll put that tab up there as well. And so I just kind of put it as a reminder in my notes, in my music, that I start on the D string, I start on the 5th fret. So again, this song, when we play it, is in the key of G. So that's an important piece to keep in mind, that you would need to adjust this if you're playing in a different key. So on that D string, on the 5th fret, that's the... And so it does a really fast bounce on the A string then, from the 7th to the 5, and then staying on that D string to the 7th and then the 9th fret. And then after running through that a couple of times, and so this is kind of a unique positioning where I use my middle finger on the A string of the 3rd fret, index finger on the D string 2nd fret, and then pinky finger, my ring finger doesn't want to go there, so pinky on the G string on the 4th fret there. So there's a little... And then that begins once again for the second half of that first verse. So in the big choruses, right, which really all the choruses are pretty big, I switch to a higher gain stage and I just play inverted chords, but I try to follow kind of what the synth is playing. So I tend to play just kind of this broken up 2 strings, G, and then for the C chord, I switch to the high E and the high B there. For the E minor, on the E, B, and G string there. So still on that E minor, I end up switching from using that high E to dropping that index finger onto the A string. Then onto that D chord. So switching from that inversion on the B, G, and D strings, all on the 7th fret, to then also bringing the pinky up for the high E and high B on the 10th fret. And so those are the chords that I like to use in that chorus. Then we get to the second verse, which has lots of crazy things with some other inversions that I like to play. Again, it's in the key of G. So this kind of G positioning, right? It's a broken up bar chord is what it ends up being on the B, G, and D strings. So a couple of times in that verse, you'll see me play that, going from that G to the C. Even though in the music, the sheet music, it's still on that G, I play. and then from the C to the E minor, and from the E minor to the D, so that's the first half of verse 2, right? So that E minor that I'm playing is really a D minor shape, but instead it's up 2 frets to make the E minor there, and then down to a regular D shape. And then on that G string from the 2nd slit up to the 4th fret. And then after that progression, going into the next chorus, it's pretty fast, but it goes from that 2 slit up to the 4 a couple times. Okay, so it's 3 times through that slide, 2 sliding up to the 4. 5th fret of the D string, the slide again. And then on the B string, it's the 3rd slit up to the 5th. And then it begins the exact same chorus once again. So that takes us into the bridge. So what is happening in the bridge? More notes, right? More parts. You can quiet it down, play it however you choose. And so it's on the G string, the 5th fret down to the 4th. And then it jumps to the D string, 2, 4, 5. And that gets played, I think 3 times. On that 4th time through, it jumps to the B string of the 7th fret and then the 8th fret. On the 2nd go around in that bridge, it just hangs on that 5th fret of the D string until we're ready to go back into the chorus nice and big. So hopefully those tabs help you, maybe just talking through some of the strings or some of the positionings of my hands. Hopefully that is something that helps you as you're working on This Is Amazing Grace.